Hello everybody, this is Kyle Ott for Draftradio doing yet another wonderful M15 draft in what is probably a super weak pack. I mean honestly, not too exciting, nothing too great that jumps out and grabs our attention. There is a Sliver Hive Lord, which is cool, but not where we want to be. The three best cards in this pack in no particular order, or four best cards in this pack, I should say. In no particular order, are Peel from Reality, Netcaster Spider, Willforged Golem, and Rummaging Goblin. Torchfiend is quite good too. Actually, Torchfiend might be equivalent to or just as good or better than Rummaging Goblin, but they're about the same. Inferno Fist is also in the pack. I'm just going to take Willforged Golem and keep my options open. I think that's the best call. Peel from Reality is probably the second best card. We'll see what this pack brings us. Well, it does bring us a Heat Ray. I do like Heat Ray. Nice little removal spell. You can splash for it too if you don't wind up in red. Probably the next best card in the pack by a wide margin is Shadow Cloak Vampire, and then Roaring Primodox maybe. Thundering Giant's fine too. So's Encrust, and there's another Rummaging Goblin, but we'll take the Heat Ray. Bummed I'm passing a Shadow Cloak Vampire, but it is what it is. There's a Paragon of Gathering Mists, which is a great card. There's also Stormtide Leviathan. Stormtide is a powerful bomb if you ever get to play it. However, I really 8 mana is not where I want to be, and 3 islands is definitely not where I want to be for that. So yeah, I think we'll just take the Blast Firebolt and continue on the red path. I don't mind that at all. So that's what we're doing. Trying to stay on color as much as possible, or at least try to stick to one color early on. Interesting. This pack is pretty mediocre as well. There's a Wall of Essence, a Thundering Giant, and a Shadow Cloak Vampire. I'll take the Vampire. I think black is a strong color, so that's what we'll take. I'll take a second Vampire. Willforged Golem is great. Hopefully we wheel like a Black Cat or something. The Vampires are good. Vampires are very good. Alright, so there's no good red and there's no good black in this pack. There's not like an artifact I can use. I mean, Tormod's Crypt is fine, I guess, if you're not playing draft, but we are. It's good sideboard or good graveyard hate if there's a graveyard archetype, which I don't even think there is. At least not in standard, anyway. The best cards are Coral Barrier and Void Snare. I'd rather have Coral Barrier, and the reason being is if I get more than one Willforged Golem, I'd like that. Plus, putting 2 power and 4 toughness on the board is nice. All this is bad too, which is fine. I'll take Sacred Armory. Who knows? Maybe I'll need it. Man, this is just bad. Well, there's another Willforged Golem, so that's what we're going to take. Ooh, Rummaging Goblin has Wield. I think that's what we're going to take, the Rummaging Goblin. Although, maybe I want Torchfiend. I actually, come to think of it, I want Torchfiend with 2 Willforged Golems. It seems better to have that. Sure, Thundering Giant is playable. Paragon is good. Gather Courage is good. Taking Soul Artifact and Hydro Surge. Alright, so I'm not playing in Soul Artifact. Probably won't play Sacred Armory. I don't really know what we're in all honesty. Pack was all over the place. We'll see what happens in the next pack. Hopefully we get a little bit of direction. Well, there's a Colonian Twin Grove, which is a card that's absolutely freaking bonkers. But there's also a Lightning Strike. And I think the pick for us is mainly going to fall between this Twin Grove and this Lightning Strike. You know what? I like Twin Grove quite a bit, although I didn't see too much green. I really like where our red is going, however, and I think that's going to lead us to taking this Lightning Strike. Hopefully we will like a Furnace Whelp or a Borderland Marauder out of the pack. I hate passing Twin Grove, but I mean, we got to take the strike. We know we're not in green. There was nothing good in green, nothing doing. Siege Dragon, however, is pretty sweet. On the off chance they have walls, that's fine. But on the off chance that they have creatures, which everybody does, it's really good. It's not a terrible curve topper. I don't mind it. There's also some good black getting shipped to us. So hopefully that continues. If it doesn't continue, then it doesn't. But otherwise, it's fine. I'll take Furnace Whelp here. The pick is between, I think, or I guess Borderland Marauder, too. With 2 Willforged Golems, I actually probably want a 2-drop. Yeah, we'll take the Marauder. Furnace Whelp is pretty good, but I want more 2-drops. I'd like to be a little more aggressive. Alright, there's a Nightfire Giant. That's exactly what we're looking for if we want to play black-red. Strong Bomb. Nice little removal. I'm sad that I'm shipping a Necromancer's Assistant and a Carrion Crow and an Accursed Spirit, but Nightfire Giant it is. We could take Goblin Rough Rider, which I like. I think the picks for us between Rough Rider and Scrapyard Mongrel. Now, I'm going to hide these blue cards because we're not going to play them. Now, we do have... The argument for Scrapyard Mongrel is he gets a lot better with those 2 Golems, but the argument for Rough Rider is he's cheaper, which will let us actually cast the Golems. I'm all for playing cheaper stuff, so we're taking the Rough Rider. Ooh, we got a Gravedigger, which is good. Gravedigger can bring back our Siege Dragon or our Nightfire Giant. Generator Servant is also excellent as well. Maybe I want Generator Servant, actually. Get out our big guys. No, I think I want Gravedigger. I'd like to be able to bring back my bombs. Bombs are good. Our 3-drop slot is looking a little thin, so we're taking Witch's Familiar. Rot Feaster Maggot is fine as well, but I'd like to build a curve. We could take a 3rd Shadow Cloak Vampire. The other option is Broodkeeper or Necromancer's Assistant. Now, I definitely don't like piling on 5-drops. We'll probably take the Assistant, in all honesty. Again, it's really important in draft to build a curve rather than just playing the best stuff possible. Furnace Whelp Wield, which is really nice for us. That's what we're going to be taking. Efficient Flyer. The other card for consideration is Necrobite. And we wheel a Carrion Crow, which is great. Happy to see Carrion Crow as well. I'll take the most annoying card in this pack, which is Mind Sculpt. We also wield an Accursed Spirit. That's insane. And another Thundering Giant should we choose to play it. And the Mongrel that we wanted. Excellent. I'm probably not going to play 2 Giants. I'll play 1 Thundering Giant. This is looking a lot better now. Happy that we didn't take that Twin Grove. Alright, well there's a Soul of Chandelar. That's what we're taking. The other best card in the pack would be Flesh to Dust or Stab Wound for us. And actually probably just the best cards in the pack. But Soul of Chandelar is insane, so that's what we're taking. Bombs are good. Now this is interesting. I could grab Crippling Blight or Bronze Sable, both of which are fine cards in our deck, but I'm going to take Typhoid Rats. I like having a little early aggression, especially with some Convoke stuff. And if we get any Covenants of Blood, I think that's what I need. So we're taking the Rats. I'm not going to play another 5-drop. I could hate draft Siege Worm or Triplicate Spirits. I think I'm just going to take the Mind Rot, however, for our sideboard. I'm not a huge fan of hate drafting. I think it screws things up for everybody, and in all honesty, you should be grabbing playables for yourself. So that's what we're doing. Grabbing a Mind Rot. Ooh, Goblin Rabblemaster, eh? Other Goblin creatures, I get a 1/1 Goblin every turn. That's not bad. Sure, why not, right? I'll try it. The other card for consideration there was Gravedigger, which I would have liked to, but hey. Now, I could take Evolving Wilds, which thins my library, helps me out a little bit. I think I'm just going to take Borderland Marauder, another solid 2-drop. So there's also a Rise of Unmake the Graves, so I'd like to see that. Ooh, but a second Goblin Rabblemaster? Heck yeah, dude. All right. Let's raise some Rabbles, man. Oh, and another Heat Ray? Heck yeah. All right. And a second Blast Firebolt? Dude, this is nuts. Actually, how am I doing on creatures? Oh, I'm doing fine on creatures. Yeah, I can take the Blast Firebolt. I can also take a second Typhoid Rats, which I think I like playing second Typhoid Rats over a second Accursed Spirit. Do I like that? Yeah, I think I like having a little earlier plays. Perfect. We got a 3-drop too. Crowd's Favor is fine, but I'd rather just have a nice little 3-drop with some upside. We'll hate draft Coral Barrier because it's the best card against our deck, as is Glacial Crasher. But we do get Hammerhand as a nice little wheel in case we want to play that. And a Staff of the Death Magus, which we will not play. So this shaped out really nicely. Signals were a little sketchy in the beginning, but you know, that's okay. Sometimes that happens. Tell you what, I have been in black. I've done about 8-9 drafts of this format so far, just online, and I've been in black almost every time. People just don't seem to recognize how intrinsically powerful this is. Alright, well, I'm definitely not playing Hammerhand. I'm definitely not playing Staff of the Death Magus. Alright, so that brings us to 24, should bring us to 29 cards, which means we have to cut 6. I don't necessarily like that, but it is what it is. I'm going to be hard-pressed to cut any of our awesome removal spells. So let's look at our big drops, because that's normally where we want to cut from. We already have plenty of good 5 drops, so Thundering Giant is not something we need. I don't mind any of this other stuff, though. I guess I could probably cut... Well, I can cut Witch's Familiar. Witch's Familiar is not that great. Pretty unimpressive. Perfect. Brings us to 22-27. Awesome. So 4 more cards. We're almost completely red. Maybe I just want to cut the black entirely from my deck. Because if I did that... No, I don't want to do that. I don't mind playing 10-7. That's fine, I think. I could probably cut Scrapyard Mongrel. I mean, it doesn't do too much for me, in all honesty. It's just a 4-mana 3/3, which is fine. And I can cut a Belligerent Sliver. Just a random 3-drop creature that can't be blocked by 2 or more. I like having tons of removal. And I'm going to play 17 land for sure, so I can get to my 6 drops. And my Heat Rays are more effective at 17 land than they would be at 16. Although our deck does seem pretty aggressive. Plus we get additional value. Plus we're guaranteed then with 17 land to eventually hit Siege Dragon mana. It's also going to let us hit that 6 mana with a double red for our Soul of Chandalar. So little ditties for the kiddies. Yay! Oh man, Kermit the Frog. How good was Kermit the Frog, right? Blah blah blah. I don't know what to cut from this stupid deck. I don't want to cut anything. This is all insane. 25 cards. We're not playing 15 land because that's dumb. We could probably cut Goblin Rough Riders. Maybe. I'm going to write down the cards that I'm cutting, however, so I can make sure that we have them for the sideboard. So we cut a Thundering Giant. We cut a Witch's Familiar. The other stuff I'm not too worried about. Whether or not I cut... Yeah, we'll cut the Goblin Rough Riders. That's what we'll cut the Goblin Rough Riders. It doesn't seem too amazing, but definitely something for the sideboard so that we've got that available. I'm not, if our opponent has a pretty aggressive deck, we can side it in. If our opponent has a pretty control-ish deck, then 3 drops like that just aren't that great. However, they are better than like 7 drops like our dragon, so, there's that for consideration. Sideboarding, man. Sideboarding is really important if you're playing limited Magic. Let me tell you. 21, 24, I got to cut 1 more card. What do I want to cut? That is the question. I could probably cut... I don't want to cut Torch Fiend. Yikes. What do I want to cut? Man, this is first world problems, right? Oh, my deck's so good, I can't cut anything. First world problems. Yeah, I'm not going to cut a 3-drop. I actually need those. Or a 2-drop, I should say. I can cut maybe a 4-drop? What are my 4-drops thought? No. No, I think I have to cut a Willforged Golem. That just seems like or one of my Blast Fire Bolts, but I'd rather not do that. So, Willforged Golem it is. We're cutting one of those. Alright, well that should bring us to exactly 23 cards. I'll put the Willforged Golem back in the sideboard. We seem sort of control-ish, not control-ish, but, we seem like we could control it. It really depends on the draw. I feel like this deck is going to be super draw dependent. If we get like a nice clump of 2-drops and some removal, we could definitely hit the bricks pretty hard. But if we don't, we can play the control-ish game with our Shadow Vampires, and our Shadow Cloak Vampires, I should say, and our Heat Rays, and our Golem, our Dragon, Nightfire Giant. We got some bombs. We got some nice early aggressive plays. Our curve is certainly the way that I want it, which is front-loaded on the end. Although our 6-drops are not so... no, they're not so bad. We only have 4 6-drops. Yeah, our curve's not terrible. It's not where I want it to be, but it's not terrible. 10 Mountain is fine. 7 Swamp is fine. Oh, Mary Kate Nat and Jankly Olsen Mystery Agency. You will live on forever in our hearts. That was a fun draft. Fun draft for sure. I got to side in the Mind Rot. Mind Rot was integral to my victory last time around, so. And you know what? I'll side in Sacred Armory, too. I don't know if I'll ever do anything with it or not. We also had a Scrapyard Mongrel. Maybe that's important, too. And a Willforged Golem. Also, going to side in a Swamp and a Mountain in case I need extras of either. So, seems decent. Deck has been saved. Excellent, excellent, excellent. The question is, what to call ourselves? What to call ourselves indeed. This might be the hardest part of my draft, other than getting a winning dice roll, which never happens to me. While I'm thinking about that, though, maybe I do want to run 9/8 so I can play my Typhoid Rat super early. I don't know if I want to do that or not. Yeah, maybe I do. Now that I think about it, I actually think that's wiser. I will run 9 Mountain. If this doesn't work, I can just side out a Swamp for a Mountain. So that's always going to be fine. But I do need a deck name, man. I just do. Oh, Digimon. Such a good show. Way back in the day. Alright, folks. Well, I am going to jump into round 1. Hopefully you found the draft part of that a little bit informative. We certainly had some weird signals going into that second pack, but I think we did pretty well on undercutting those and getting out of there with a good deck. I will see all of you fine folks in round 1.